Guys, welcome back to Modern Skyblock 3 with Haliee, and we're picking up shortly after we left off. Not even shortly. It's been a few hours of strictly on-camera work for me to work through this, which we're going to talk about now, and get things done. So let's jump in and let's talk about some things. So, you remember all those machines we made in the last episode? Yeah, they're not here. Nothing bad happened. I just rearranged things and set up something over here. Alright, so we're going to go over there and look at everything, but let's go back into the chapter for mechanism. As you can see, I had to make a couple more machines. We're trying to get the lithium crystal for the big quest book item, so we're just walking through that. So we made a bunch of machines last time, but there was apparently 3 more machines I needed to make. One was the chemical oxidizer, which I've got here. I went ahead and completed that. Let me show you guys the recipe for that. Oops. Chemical oxidizer. That recipe is just 4 of the enriched alloys, 2 of the basic control circuits, 1 dynamic tank, which we've made before. It's just steel surrounded by a bucket, 1 gas tank, which is iron and osmium, and a personal chest, which we haven't made before. That's actually just 5 steel, 1 piece of glass, 2 chests, and a basic control circuit. So very easy to make. We've got all the materials to make that. I went ahead and made that and completed that quest. So let's go ahead and grab that loot chest. We also made the chemical injection chamber. So let me show you what that is made of. Chemical, cannot spell. There we go. The chemical injection chamber is just 4 enriched alloys, 2 of the basic control circuits, 2 gas tanks, and 1 dynamic tank. So again, very easy to make. You just follow the recipe. We've done most of this, so I'm going to grab the loot chest. Excuse me. Oh, God. Okay, then we had to make a purification chamber. So that's the last item, extra item I had to make. Purification. Purification chamber is just 4 enriched alloys. Then we have this new item, the advanced control circuit. It's actually really easy to make. The advanced control circuit takes the regular basic control circuit, which we know is just redstone and osmium, and you just surround that with the enriched alloys, which is just redstone and iron, and you get the advanced control circuit. There wasn't really a quest for that, but it's really easy to make, so just make that. Then we needed to take the enrichment chamber, which we've made before. The enrichment chamber is supposed to be like doubling your ores. What this thing, I guess, does, it does something else with your ore. So if you still need a way to double your ores through mechanism, you can make another enrichment chamber. They're not too hard to make. It's just 4 redstone, a steel casing, which is just steel, osmium, and glass. So you can go ahead and make that. And 2 of the control circuit, redstone, and iron. So if you need to make that, you can make another one of those. Now, I also need 2 osmium ingots to make the purification chamber. So we completed that. Let's go ahead and grab that chest and move on. Alright, so I'm going to, and we're going to open up the loot chest. I don't think we're getting anything new. Got another incense stick from Britannia, razor wire from Immersive Engineering, and a bauble from home. So I don't think we're getting anything new. I do like opening the loot chest because I may get more chance cubes, which as we get towards the end of this series, I know we're like at 100 episode, 140 something. 150? I have to count. 143, I think is what this is going to be, or 4. I don't know. So we got a ways to go, but I do want to open up a bunch of chance cubes at some point. I don't want to open up here because anybody that's watched Project Goes On knows that there are some destructive chance cubes out there. So yeah, we're going to open up chance cubes. That's why I kind of like keeping it open in the loot chest. Alright, now, we are working towards, if you go back up here to the quest book, we're trying to get reborn technology open. And in order to get reborn technology open, we have to make lithium crystals, 16 of those, and white laser lens. We talked about white laser lens that requires pink slime. And then we'll get to that at some point. So right now, let's go back to the crystal, lithium crystal. I cannot spell today. Okay, so the lithium crystal takes clean lithium slurry, which takes lithium slurry with some water and a chemical washer. To get lithium slurry, you're going to need to take sulfuric acid along with lithium ore. To get sulfuric acid, you need to mix sulfur trioxide and water vapor to get sulfuric acid. To get sulfur trioxide, you need to mix oxygen and sulfur dioxide. Oxygen we know how to get. Sulfur dioxide, we actually needed the chemical oxidizer to get sulfur. And that's where I almost got stuck. But there's an easy way to get sulfur. What kind of sulfur do we get? We got sulfur from Mechanism. Sulfur is just gunpowder and salt. There we go. Salt. You can use Pam's Harvest Craft salt. So let's look at my setup over here. I went ahead and moved everything over here because I was going to need a lot of power running all these machines. So I wanted to use the power from the windmills that I had over here. I was considering actually making power from Mechanism, but I had this big power giant over here. I wanted to get that going. So let me start at the beginning over here. So we have our electrolytic separator, which is taking in water from our little our sink from cooking from blockheads, and it's converting it into hydrogen and oxygen. We're using the hydrogen for our jetpack, which I don't have on me right now, but I don't need to wear it. Don't need to wear it. We're just gonna walk around here. And the oxygen is being pulled using the pressurized tubes. Now let me talk about something with Mechanism real quick. When you're dealing with Mechanism, there's 3 types of pipes. There's or 4 types actually. The logistical pipes, which we actually used earlier, the logistical pipes you can come in different types. You have basic, advanced, elite, and ultimate. And if you hold shift, basically it says these transfer items and blocks. So we started out using those for the chemical washer and the rock washer, those things over there. So logistical transfers items. Then there's the universal cable that transfers power. So like, and it does RF apparently, EUs from industrial crafts, and joules from Mechanism. So they come in the same. You have basic, I think it's on this last page, basic, advanced, elite, and ultimate. Then mechanical pipes actually transfer fluids, and then pressurized pressurized tubes transfer gases. And there is another one over here, I forgot. Thermodynamic ones, which does heat, which we're not going to worry about that. So we have the different pipes, and I had to make them all for these different machines because some of these machines will transfer blocks, some of these machines will transfer gases, and some of these machines will transfer fluid. So depending on what it was transferring out, I did use those pipes. So to make this first one, we were transferring out oxygen. Oxygen is obviously a gas, so we needed the pressurized tubes to transfer the gas into the chemical infuser. So what the chemical infuser, what we're doing here is we're mixing that oxygen with sulfur dioxide, which we're actually going to make some right here. So if we go back into the recipe for the lithium crystal, no, not at lithium crystal, oh my God. There we go. Recipe for the lithium crystal. If we go back here, we need to make the sulfur trioxide, which is oxygen, and sulfur dioxide. So we got the chemical oxidizer here, and the chemical oxidizer is taking sulfur. Now we had to make sulfur. Now I've got this turned off for right now, but I've got a bunch of salt here from Pam's Harvest Craft. So if you need to remember how to do that, if you have the cooking for blockhead station set up, I'm pointing like you guys can see, the cooking for blockhead station setup, you can it just takes water, which is coming from the sink, and a pot, and you pretty much have unlimited salt. Now the configurator, which we've used before here, this configurator item, show you the recipe on that, is very important in getting all this set up correctly, because you have to have things set up to pull and push, and you have sides to be able to accept and pull and push or do nothing. So if you haven't already made the configurator and you're working with Mechanism, you need that. That's just 2 enriched alloys, 1 lapis, an energy tablet, and a stick. The energy tablets, just a couple more enriched alloys, redstone, and gold. So you're going to need that. So basically what I have set up, this is going to be a logistical transporter because I'm pulling solid items into the machine here. So if I hold shift and click on this end here, you can see where down in my chat it says change to none, change to normal, change to push, and change to pull. I can do the same thing on this side, change to push, pull, normal, blah, blah, blah. So I can leave it at normal, or I can change it to push. But what's also important is that you see when I'm holding shift still, holding the shift key, and if I hover over the chemical injection chamber, you can see different sides have different colors. So red does something. And then, of course, you have the output of dark blue. So you can see it in the chat there. Every time I right-click on it, it changes what it's basically accepting. So now it's bumped to energy and extra purple. It seems that extra is what it needs to pull in here. I don't know why, but it got it to work. So if you can't figure it out, just keep hitting shift and clicking on it. Eventually, it will go out. Now I was pulling from the chest. So it's pulling salt into the chemical injection chamber. Now this takes a lot of salt to make sulfur. It's not just a 1-for-1 ratio saying 1 gunpowder is going to and 1 salt's going to make it. It takes a lot of salt in here. So again, luckily salt is free. I don't know a way to auto craft it from this the cooking from blockheads, but you know, just get a bunch to pull in. It goes really quickly, and that's going to turn into a piece of salt eventually. And then over here I've got it set up. You see that it's going to pull once it completes that piece of salt. Come on, you can do it. It's probably going to take most of the episodes to make that. I've had a lot of this running just to get all the way through. But it's going to pull all that salt, and it's going to turn into a piece of sulfur now. And you saw that sulfur, if you look really carefully, that sulfur comes over here to the chemical oxidizer and turns into sulfur dioxide, which is turning into the sulfur trioxide. So we got sulfur dioxide with oxygen, dioxide's 2. Add 1 more and you get trioxide. There we go. All right, so that sulfur trioxide now, so again, that was the chemical oxidizer, and that's going to do it again. We'll get more salt here, so we may catch it again here. So the sulfur's being oxidized into, let's make sure I go back, into sulfur dioxide, and to take the extra thing of oxygen, it goes sulfur trioxide. Oh, it's doing it again. There it goes. And we should be able to see it really quick here. There's the sulfur dioxide. Mix it in with the oxygen to turn to sulfur trioxide. There's that pink liquid. And that sulfur trioxide is going to mix with our water vapor here. So let's talk about the water vapor. The water vapor is made from the rotary condenser. Now, I had a little trickiness getting this set up, and you may not be able to see it here because the pipes are on here and I don't want to lose anything, but this side, see this square around here? This square on the rotary condenser on that side is bigger than this square. So again, so you can see I'm looking at the square around here, how much this takes up over here versus how much this one takes up over here. That was very important. I had to set it down the right way, because if I had set it down this way, the big square would have been on this side. So I had to set the machine down on this side, so the big square is over here. What's important about the big square? That's where the water comes in. So I've got water pulling from the sink on this side now, and it's going into the rotary condenser. So again, the water has to go into the big square over here. So I've got water going into there, and I've got a pressurized tube. I know we talk about more pressurized tubes. Pressurized tubes are for gases. So see, all of these were gases here. These are pressurized tubes. So we got some more pink juice going in here. That pink juice is turning into the next one, which we'll talk about here in a second. So the the water vapor is, so once it basically takes the water, it's converted into water vapor. That water vapor is then being put into the chemical infuser. So we got plenty of water vapor here. Another pressurized tube for gas. So if it's a liquid or a gas, you also know if the machine takes whichever tube it is based on what's in it. So if I tried to put a liquid or an item, it wouldn't have connected. So I knew that this was gas because it was connected with the pressurized tube. All right, so now, so in the chemical infuser, the second chemical infuser, because we had to make 2. We made 1 for the water to break out, but this one is infusing the sulfur dioxide and with the water vapor to make sulfuric acid. And that's what's being pulled into this machine here. So we got sulfuric acid over here in the chemical dissolution chamber. Whew. This was a lot of stuff, but I learned a lot, and I hope you guys are learning too. So now, in order to get the lithium slurry, we're almost at the end. We need to take that sulfuric acid and combine it with lithium ore. How do you get lithium ore? That's a great question. I'm glad you guys asked that. The lithium ore, you can get it if you're into the void ore miner. We're not in environmental tech yet. That chapter is still locked to us. But if you make the condenser, which we made earlier, you can make lithium alchemical ore dust. This is from Sky Resources. We did this really early on. So let's look at the recipe for lithium alchemical ore dust. It's made in the alchemical fusion table, and you can use either lithium dust, if you have it, or prismarine shards and lapis. Prismarine shards you can get from, well, several different ways. You can try to get it through nether quartz in Botania, or you can take nether quartz and put it in the atomic reconstructor here, and that'll give you prismarine shards. There's also a way to get it in combustion by taking nether quartz and moss stone to get it in combustions. And chickens, which we'll get at some point, we will get to chickens, you can also get it there. So what I ended up doing, so in my here, there we go. So I have it somewhere. We take our nether quartz, and I went ahead and used the atomic reconstructor. Again, there's other ways you could do it. You can put it in Botania if you have plenty of mana for that. I just like this machine, I like throwing stuff out the machine. I have it zapping it away. Now I don't have a ton of power, so it's not doing it 100%. Now, I need to get some lapis. The recipe was a 2-to-1 ratio, in case you missed that. Let me go back here. It is a 2 lapis to 1 prismarine shard ratio in order to get that. So I'm just going to grab a stack of lapis right now. I think I have some actually in there. And if we go over here to our alchemical tables, which we haven't used since like probably the middle of the series here. The alchemical fusion table, oh, I've got some in there. So if I put lapis along with prismarine shards, it's going to do 2-to-1. And I've got the tertius alchemical dust, so that's the highest one. So I'm going to get the best yield on this already. So I've got some lithium alchemical ore dust here. So we're going to put that in our what is this? Our condenser. A condenser, basically, I had this set up before, if you guys remember early on in the series. If you missed that, go back to about episode 30 or 40. I can't remember what number it is. But this setup, basically, that I've designed here, it makes stone pretty much automatically. I've got the stone going into a block placer, and basically, essentially, every time a block is done here, I've got a redstone signal for it to recognize it, and it places another block right in front of it if there's nothing already there. All right, so this is where it gets tricky. I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. The ratio to make the lithium ore in the condenser, it takes a long time to make it. There's actually a recipe I'll show you compared to iron. This takes about 2,700 ticks, so a long, pretty good time to make here. And you're only going to be getting a 0.0807% output. Of course, the efficiency, and this is at 100% speed and efficiency. Depending on the casings that you use, if you remember, there's all these different ones, stone, wooden, the efficiencies do go up and speeds go up. With this iron casing, I'm going to get about 121% efficiency, but the best one, I think, is Manulin, and then I think Endstone's actually the best one. Why is it not even listed on here? Iron, steel, electrum. But you can make better casings and better condensers to get a better yield on this. So see, the output on this is 0.0807. To give you some comparison, we made iron earlier using the same method. Iron ore, it completes at about 315 ticks, and it gives you 1.35 output. So you're not going to be getting a lot of this ore that we actually need, but it's enough to get you in the recipe. Lithium ore. So if I go back here and look at our chest, I've had this running for quite a bit. I've only got 8 lithium ore, and I've been, like I said, it's been about an hour since it's been running, and I had about a stack and a half already put in here. So I'm put 4, well, I put 6, 8, well, I'll put more in here, but I'm going to get just very little more to go on this. But we don't need very much for the quest. We just needed a couple, because I'm going to show you how many it actually makes. Let's head back over to our mechanism area, and we're almost done. But this is really important to show you guys how to do this, because if anybody else is doing the hard mode on this and they're kind of stuck on this, I'm hoping that this setup is going to be helpful for you. All right, so now we have the chemical dissolution chamber. We've got the sulfuric acid sitting in here. So we're going to take that sulfuric acid and we're going to add 1 lithium ore. It goes really, really quickly, and it takes about only 200 of it. It mixes it. Okay, mix it in with the slurry. It converts it into a bucket of lithium slurry. Now, if you notice, the lithium slurry has to be washed, and it's going to give us This takes up a lot of power. The chemical washer, in order to wash this, actually these last machines take up a lot of power to run, but it's going to wash that sulfuric acid with that lithium ore in the washer, and it's going to give us, what was it giving us? It's giving us something. Lithium crystal. Lithium crystal. It's giving us clean lithium slurry. And that clean lithium slurry, if you put it in the dissolution chamber, it gives you a lithium crystal. This is giving us about a rate of, I think 200 millibuckets will give us 1 lithium crystal. So we need 16. We got lithium slurry there, making sure I have enough. Looks like I'm out of water actually on this one. The water is coming very slowly. Oh, sorry. There was one thing on this one I forgot. I need to go there. The water actually goes on top. I didn't have that set this correct because the water goes in the big one. So let's get some more water over here. And I think I need more pipes to fill that in. And we are at the end of the episode. I just want to get that set up properly again in case anybody's watching this and needs help with their own setup. Where's the pipes? There's the pipes. Make sure you have that one properly. So the size, the configurator does help, noting the big versus the small. I think the big squares are for liquids and the small squares are for gases. So some machines they take in. So if you see on this one, so we got a small one here. This is a pressurized tube. So we got a small square here. So that's a gas. This top one's a big square, and that's taking in a liquid. So I'm going to put our transfer pipes over here from our fluid pipes. I want to put it up high so I can walk around it. And that should be putting water into here, cleaning the lithium slurry to make the juice over here, and it's all done. I'm going to go ahead and grab the lithium crystal. I think that's a quest. Should be. All the work I went through it. But in case it's not, again, I need 16 of those, and I'm already halfway there. Have everything set up. I just need some more of... I can go ahead and put the rest of this in here. That'll go ahead and make some more lithium slurry there. Good to go. All right, well, that is all I'm going to do for right now, guys. It's a lot of work just to get all these things done. And like I said, these last couple of machines, they do take up a lot of power to clean it. There we go. We got our next, we got 8. We're about to have 9. I might have 16 here. As I'm doing some more off-camera work. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode and have learned something. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, tips, tricks, techniques, or just want to say hi, leave that comment down in the comment section and I will get back with you as quickly as I can. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, click that like button, and click that notification bell to be notified when new episodes come out. And if you want to hang out with me and other squad members, you can do so by becoming a Patreon. All of our Patreon information is listed down in the description field below. Yeah, see, 200 slurry get you 1 lithium crystal. We are at 10 already. But yeah, click on the Patreon link to learn about all the awesome cool rewards that we have, including playing on all of our servers, Minecraft, Ark, 7 Days to Die, as well as chatting with us in Discord. So check it out. And if you want a server to play on with your friends, be sure to head on over to Host Havoc using the link in the description field below. Host Havoc is who we use for all of our multiplayer series as well as our Patreon servers. And that's it, guys. Again, I hope you all learned something. I spent hours trying to get this set up. This may not be the perfect setup, but it works. And I got power going to all the machines. It's progress. All right, guys. Until next time, I'll talk to you later. So have a great day, guys. Bye.